You sit at your desk. You open the book. You stare at the very first paragraph on the page. Your eyes scan the words, tracing the letters from left to right, but absolutely nothing enters your mind. 30 seconds later, you realize you have no idea what you just read. Your hand automatically reaches for your glowing phone. You open an app, you scroll, you close it, and you immediately open it again. You are trapped in a suffocating loop of digital anesthesia. You look at the clock and realize another hour has completely vanished into the void. And then, the heavy, familiar weight of shame violently crashes down on your shoulders. You tell yourself that you are simply lazy. You believe that you lack fundamental willpower. You buy productivity planners. You download focus apps. You drink dangerous amounts of caffeine, desperately trying to force your rebellious brain into submission. Society has convinced you that your inability to concentrate is a moral failing, or worse, a permanent genetic flaw. A broken chemical switch in your head that dooms you to a life of unfulfilled potential and endless distraction. But this narrative is a profound, destructive illusion. The heavy guilt you carry every single day is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of your own mind. To understand the true nature of your scattered mind, we must completely dismantle the way you view attention. Drawing from the groundbreaking work of Dr. Gabor Maté in his defining book, Scattered Minds, we must look past the superficial symptoms of modern distraction and ADHD. The radical, undeniable truth is this: your lack of focus is not a disease. It is not a random genetic curse that you inherited. It is a highly sophisticated, deeply ingrained psychological defense mechanism. Your brain is not broken. In fact, it is working exactly as it was originally designed to. We have to return to the very beginning. The architecture of the human brain is not fully formed when we are born. It is actively built and wired by the environment we grow up in. A developing child requires a state of profound emotional safety and attuned connection with their caregivers to build the delicate neural pathways responsible for sustained attention. But human life is inherently chaotic. Parents become stressed, overwhelmed, financially panicked, or emotionally distant. The environment becomes tense, and the sensitive nervous system of a child absorbs that invisible anxiety like a sponge. When a child is exposed to this chronic emotional stress, they face a terrifying biological dilemma. They cannot physically fight the stressor. They cannot pack their bags and run away from home. Their survival completely depends on the very environment that is causing them distress. So the brilliant developing brain deploys its only available emergency protocol. If you cannot escape the physical room, you escape the mental room. You tune out. You dissociate. You scatter your attention into the clouds to numb the painful reality of the present moment. Tuning out is the ultimate psychological painkiller. It is a brilliant, necessary survival strategy for a vulnerable child. The mind learns that whenever the present moment feels overwhelming, unsafe, or emotionally difficult, the safest option is simply to vanish. Over the years, this emergency protocol becomes a hardwired automatic reflex. It becomes the default operating system of your brain. You practice the art of not being present so frequently that the neural circuits for distraction become massive, high-speed highways, while the circuits for sustained focus slowly wither away into unpaved dirt roads. Fast forward to your current reality. You are no longer a helpless child in a stressful environment. You are an adult, sitting in a quiet room, trying to finish a project, read a book, or listen to your partner speak. But your deep, unconscious programming does not know that the war is over. Whenever you face a task that induces even a microscopic amount of stress, boredom, or performance anxiety, your nervous system detects a threat. The ancient alarm bells ring, and before you can even consciously realize what is happening, the defense mechanism activates. Your brain screams at you to escape the present moment. It craves a distraction to numb the subtle discomfort of doing difficult work. So you pick up the phone. The endless, infinite scroll of social media is the modern equivalent of dissociating into the clouds. It provides a shallow, effortless high that instantly removes you from the friction of reality. You are not addicted to the screen, you are addicted to the escape. You are desperately fleeing from the terrifying mirror of your own internal anxiety. The phone is just the closest exit door available. This creates an agonizing, invisible cycle of self-sabotage. You tune out to avoid the stress of the task. Because you tuned out, the task does not get done. The impending deadline creates massive, terrifying external pressure. This new pressure triggers even more internal anxiety, which forces your brain to tune out even harder. You are trapped in a violent psychological tornado, constantly running away from a phantom threat, exhausting your finite energy reserves, and entirely destroying your own peace of mind in the process. But here is the profound, liberating truth that shatters the illusion. The moment you realize that your distraction is a coping mechanism and not a permanent character flaw, you instantly strip it of its power. You must aggressively stop attacking yourself. You must drop the heavy, suffocating weapon of self-blame that you have carried for decades. You are not a lazy, defective human being. You are simply a person whose brilliant brain learned to run away from pain and forgot how to come back. You cannot shame yourself into having better focus. You cannot punish a defense mechanism until it disappears. The only way to rebuild the architecture of your attention is to introduce the one element that was missing when the mechanism was created: profound emotional safety. When the urge to check your phone violently strikes, do not fight it. Simply observe it. Recognize it as the frightened child inside your mind trying to escape a moment of friction. Take a deep, deliberate breath and gently guide your attention back to the present reality. It is not about forcing your mind to stay locked in a cage. It is about proving to your nervous system that the present moment is finally safe enough to inhabit. You rebuild your focus millimeter by millimeter simply by choosing to stay in the room when the urge tells you to run. You are no longer trapped by the ghosts of your past. You have the power to rewrite the code. Put the heavy phone down. Look at the page. Breathe into the silence. The war is over. You are safe. Now begin.